Okay, so you guys sent us a really interesting one this time.
Yeah.
This is a transcript from a YouTube video.
Mm.
And the title of this YouTube video is AMG XATZ XOTO No Loves Left. And then there's like a play mask emoji and a money bag emoji.
Yeah.
Then it says 4KT's deadliest game begins, who will survive?
Oh, wow.
Hashtag ATZ, hashtag 4KT culture.
Okay, so right away we're dealing with some high stakes.
Yeah, it sounds very dramatic,
Very dramatic.
even just from that title.
Yeah, and reading through this transcript, I'm getting strong like rivalry vibes, you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems like there's these two main groups, the AMG Mob and 4KT, and they're both operating in this place called Los Santos.
Looks Santa.
And it's all very, very intense.
Yeah, and there's all these visuals described, even just in that title, like wealth and the music scene and a lot of street influence.
Definitely.
So, okay, I guess our mission here is to unpack all this, figure out, what's going on, who's got the power, and how all that power shifts throughout this whole story.
Sounds good. Yeah, let's dive in.
All right, so the transcript kind of starts off by setting up this scene where one of the main players, Lil Woe, who's described as the architect of the 4KT empire, he's in prison.
Oh, wow. Okay, so right off the bat, we've got a big player taken out of the game.
Right, and it seems like everyone thought this was a huge blow to 4KT, like maybe even the end of them.
Really?
Yeah, like the authorities, the feds, they thought they had 4KT totally dismantled, and the AMG mob were basically the winners.
So it seems like a pretty decisive victory for AMG.
Yeah, that's the impression you get.
Yeah.
But then this other figure, he comes into the picture, Saturn Migo,
Okay.
and he's portrayed as this like incredibly successful guy. He signs what they call the biggest music deal in history.
Wow.
A $500 million deal with Spotify and Apple.
$500 million.
It's referred to as like the G1 deal.
Oh, wow.
And that kind of money, instantly puts him in a position of power.
For sure, yeah. I mean, that's not just success. That's like next level dominance.
Right, exactly. But it wasn't just about the music, though, right?
Right.
I mean, the transcript suggests his influence went way beyond just the music charts.
Yeah, it mentions him controlling the system itself, like securing government contracts, and he's even got his own private security army.
Wow. Like a full-on army.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
That's intense.
So he's not just some successful musician, he's got his hands in all sorts of things.
Yeah, and then there's this one quote from Migo that really stuck out to me.
What's that?
He says to his crew, "This ain't about rap no more. This is about being a god."
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty bold statement.
Yeah, it definitely gives you a sense of his ambition,
Yeah.
and maybe even a little bit of delusion.
Yeah, that kind of rapid rise to power can do that to people.
Makes you wonder if he's losing touch with reality a bit.
Right, but then here's the thing, even with Migo seemingly on top, the transcript mentions this little detail.
Yeah.
Lil Woe, even though he was locked up, he still had loyal soldiers out there.
So 4KT wasn't completely wiped out then.
It's like that saying, empires don't die, they reload.
Right, and the transcript even mentions that the system runs itself.
Yeah, like 4KT was more than just Lil Woe. It was this whole network.
Yeah, a system that was already in place and could function even without its leader.
Right, and there's this vivid image described in the transcript. It talks about 4KT soldiers in the background. They're masked up and plotting something, while Migo's out there enjoying all the success.
Oh, wow. So there's this underlying sense of danger, like a hidden threat.
Yeah, like Migo's position might not be as secure as it seems.
Right, and it's interesting how the transcript emphasizes this local element.
Yeah.
It says, in Los Santos, the streets decide who really runs things.
Yeah, like it's not just about money or political connections.
Exactly. It's about who has the respect and support at the ground level.
Right.
Okay, so then we get to this major turning point in the story.
Yeah.
Lil Woe breaks out of prison.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a power shift.
Right, and the way it happens is really interesting. It turns out 4KT loyalists had infiltrated the prison system.
What? Like they were working as guards.
Yeah, that's right. They were working as guards.
Wow, that's some serious dedication.
Right. It shows how deep their network goes.
Yeah, and it sounds like they pulled off this elaborate escape plan.
Yeah, it was like something out of a movie.
What happened?
2 a.m. alarms are going off, cameras are blacked out, locks are glitching.
Whoa.
And apparently 4KT had been using this deepfake AI to create a diversion.
So they were using technology to their advantage.
Yeah, it was like a high-tech prison break.
That's crazy.
And when Woe gets out, there's this message that goes along with his return.
What's that?
It says, "Ghosts don't stay locked up," and the streets, they screaming, "Woe up!"
Oh, wow. So his presence was definitely still felt even when he was gone.
Exactly. And then Woe says to his crew, "We taking back what's ours."
Oh, man. So he's ready to go head to head with Migo.
It sounds like, and so the question is, how does someone coming straight out of prison challenge someone with as much power and influence as Migo?
Yeah, good question.
Well, the transcript suggests that Migo's success kind of went to his head a little bit. It says he forgot where he came from.
So he lost touch with his roots.
Yeah, and that seems to be a big weakness for him.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the high life and forget where you started.
Right. But Woe's strength is that he never needed the system. He was the system.
Interesting. So he had this different kind of authority.
Exactly. Like he earned his respect through his actions and his loyalty, not just his money or his connections.
Yeah, that street cred can be really powerful, especially in a place like Los Santos.
So instead of going after Migo directly, Woe comes up with a more strategic plan.
Okay, what does he do?
He and his loyalists, they hack into Migo's servers.
Whoa.
And they expose all of his corrupt business deals.
So it's like a digital takedown.
Yeah, they're basically dismantling his empire from the inside out.
And by revealing these shady deals, they're undermining Migo's legitimacy.
Right, and the consequences are pretty immediate.
What happens?
Government officials, they withdraw their support. The feds start investigating him. His assets get frozen.
Wow. That's a fast fall from grace.
Yeah, it is. And there's this little scene where Migo's talking to his lawyer, and the lawyer's like, "Who's behind all of this?"
So Migo finally realizes who's responsible.
Yeah, it's this moment of like, oh, wow, I really underestimated this guy.
Right.
And then the transcript ends with this really powerful line. It says, "You can have all the money in the world, but if the streets turn on you, you're already dead."
That's heavy.
Yeah, it's a reminder that in Los Santos, real power comes from the community.
Right, not just from wealth or status.
Right.
Wow, this has been a wild ride.
It really has. So to recap, you sent us this story about Lil Woe, the architect of 4KT, who starts off in prison, making everyone think the AMG mob led by Saturn Migo is victorious.
Right, and Migo gets all this money and power, but he forgets where he came from.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Woe, even in prison, still has loyal followers who help him break out.
And when he gets out, he uses his street smarts to expose Migo's corruption and bring him down.
Exactly. It's a story about power, loyalty, betrayal, and the importance of the streets.
It makes you think about what really matters in the end, you know?
It does, and it makes me wonder about something.
What's that?
Thinking about this story and how dramatic it is, what parallels do you see in the real world?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, have you ever seen these big, powerful empires in business or culture, maybe even in politics, crumble when they lose touch with their roots or they betray the people who support them?
Yeah, for sure. There are plenty of examples of that throughout history.
Right. And what does that tell us about how important it is to be authentic, to be true to yourself and your values?
That's a great point to ponder.
Yeah. Something to think about after this deep dive. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in.
I make fast flips, keep a sci-fi. 7 black trucks pull up like a convoy. Ran it up so not a whole team employed. Wrist cold like Pluto, I can't feel a thing. Too much codeine in my cup, I'm out the frame. Told my jeweler flood the face, I don't do plain. Took a risk, made a fortune, now it rain. I just blew on it on Audemars. I remember nights when we was trapping out the car. Now I'm in the ready if I don't even see the stars. Because the roof gone, I took off from too far. All my cars, these I get sworn came without a ceiling. Togo like freaks, my neck, I need dupe till I kiss ring. Every watch a different time zone, I don't know the difference. Got a mansion full of money, I don't even know the entrance. I'm so damn rich, I talk sky high. I make fast flips, keep a sci-fi. 7 black trucks pull up like a convoy. Ran it up so not a whole team employed. Wrist cold like Pluto, I can't feel a thing. Too much codeine in my cup, I'm out the frame. Told my jeweler flood the face, I don't do plain. Took a risk, made a fortune, now it rain. cross for the ones that fell. This candle burns in silence for those we sent to hell. Burn one wick in the corner in the basement. Name of my tongue is a dead man's placement. Still torn back 10 with the engraving. That's from my last spiritual arraignment. Switch on the top of my soul, don't twitch. Don't trench coat when I empty that clip. Get a white strip on the old white stitch. Like these your piece, but see that pitch. Me, you but get ready to tell me who I be. That will taste these and more loves and fees. Still on the bed.